empty cup. So I would suggest everybody in the next 40 minutes, I want you to be like an empty cup. Whatever I tell you, just fill in your cup. I know you all are psychologists, psychiatrists, teachers, but still, I would say whatever I talk to you today, you will be an empty cup for me. So you are promising me that? Shall we move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Usha ma'am. Could
Yes,
you please
ma'am.
move with the slideshow? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I took the webinar thing as, big feelings, little hearts. Since we were speaking about children, you were asking so many questions to Vishesh sir also. So as a counselor, I will tell you how psychology is impacting and how a psychologist can make a little difference in their little hearts. So actually, as sir was saying, we think that we understand children. We think that we understand children, but actually we take them for granted. We never try to understand them, like what feelings they are undergoing, what are the emotions they're having. Like now when coming to the school, there are a lot many reasons why children doesn't want to come to school. So I would like to share a case in my school. The child was in third grade and he didn't want to come to school. You know what? He used to come in the auto. The moment he used to see the school, he used to run away. Sometimes he used to run away on the roads randomly. The child doesn't know how dangerous it is when he runs on the roads. So it was that situation. If you actually forcibly used to bring him to the school, he used to hold on to the railing, and if any teacher or IMO or PT sir used to stop him and, used to pull him, he used to bite his own hand, or he used to kick his leg towards the railing part. So he was such in an aggressive mode all the time. Okay, so mother used to say at ala kadu nana, you have to go to school, and then next day it is the same. So what was the reason? Why he didn't want to come to the school? So when I came into the picture and I asked him, like, you have to look into the root or the triggering points. So I understood that earlier he went to school where nobody pacified his separation anxiety, because every child will have that anxiety when he goes to school. And the second point is, the COVID came, so he never went to the school again. I will be discussing further, such cases as we move along with the PPT. Okay. So I told you the objective of the webinar and why psychology is so vital in school settings. So if the child would have been pacified about the child I was talking earlier, if his issue would have been identified earlier, there would have been a better outcomes. So I had to sit and work on him for 6 months. It was not an easy task for me. 6 months. And down the lane, I'll tell you when the scenario comes, I'll tell you how I have handled him. Okay. So in my school, you see, it's a polarity school. It's a trustee school, basically. So you have a lot of children coming up from the lower grade as well. So what happened is, when I went to school, so, they said counselor is in the school now. Counselor, counselor. This was the question mark I used to get. And you know what is the response? If the teacher used to send me or him, if the teacher used to direct the child to me, and if I ask the child a question like, you are here, do you know who I am? He says, yes. You're a counselor. My mom told me because you don't go to the counselor because they think you are mental. You're having problems. Okay. So I said, okay. It was not from the same response I got from, couple of students. Then I thought, why they feel it the same way, like, it is mental. Why it is mental? It's a myth. They don't understand that because they are little hearts. So those small brains, they are not conditioned to, to telling that you need to go to a psychologist. So they never understood my role. So what I did was, I told that I had to give them an example. What is my role there? So before that, what I did is, since I hear this word mental, and one of the students said, "Are illaku teacher shock isadi. I will give electric shocks, it seems." So these are the kind of responses I used to get. So I felt that something I need to do where, they had to know that the word mental is not that which everybody thinks. So I came up with my own, acronym saying that to M means mindful. So I talked to them about being mindful, exercise, I said learn to say no, talk to your loved ones, accept the things as they are, include laughter in your life. You know what I did? I made it a big chart, so colorful. I stuck it onto my notice board, telling that children, if it is mental, this is what the mental word means. It is not which you are thinking. Okay, then they got pacified. Now, teacher, what do you do? You are a counselor. So what is that you do for us? So I said, I give you first aid. So I need to explain the child like what is a first aid. So I always tell them, if I get hurt physically, now blood is flowing from my hand, So what do you do? Basically, what do we do? You can answer.
We'll
I
clean
can't.
that with Dettol and put
Okay.
some
First aid.
medicine on that.
Thank you,
First-
sir. Someone said first aid. Thank you
First
so
aid.
much. Yes. So the child will say the same thing. Teacher, Ayama will get the first aid and then she'll start rubbing, with the cotton, and then they'll put tincture and all those things. So then I ask them, when you are hurt here or when you are hurt in the heart, who is going to do the psychological first aid for you guys? That is where I pitch in. So I do psychological first aid. Since you're very young to understand the psychological first aid word, I tell them this, making them understand that మనసు బాగపోయినా మైండ్ బాగపోయినా కౌన్సిలర్ దగ్గరికి రావాలి. So that is where then they started slowly coming to. So this myth is, I know you all guys know, still it is there. Still it is there. But to some, I would say to larger extent, because it's been 4 years now, I am okay with the kids that they understand I'm there for them for only the psychological first aid. I hope I'm okay till now. Yeah. So mental health in school age children, I usually take up from, you can say from 5th grade to 10th grade. Even primary kids also do come. I will share it in the later stage. So the common issues which we see in the children today is more of sensitivity first. Then second thing is low self-esteem. They have stress. They have examination fear. There is a lot of bullying going on. And also I have kids who come with ADHD and learning disability. Okay. So these are the major issues I encounter almost till today. If I see, these are the major issues. So here I would like to share a case study. There's a 10th grade girl who had some problem right from 7th grade, I believe, or 8th. So in 10th grade, before the board exam, where the pre-boards were going on, then the mother told me to talk to her since she's having panic attacks, which are very intense. So that girl was already on medication because she already went to a psychiatrist. Sorry. So I said, okay, let me talk to her. And this girl, since I go for group sessions in the classes, she knows me very well. She was very impressed with me when I spoke about some social media thing which had happened. So then she came to me and she started telling me, and she was crying, continuously crying for 1 hour. Then she told me that she had suicidal intentions, which she never told anybody. And the suicidal intentions were so intense that she actually wrote a suicidal note, which the parents never knew about it. So immediately I had to call the parent and I had to tell her that you please find out the suicidal note, what is happening, what she has written there. So they met me, they came with the suicidal note, and in that they read, it was a very long suicidal note. So they read, they knew the triggering points, what was happening. And then what happened was like, okay. And somewhere the triggering point of her was that the father's role was not okay. See, since we all have fathers who'd never hug you or kiss you. We come from an Orthodox family, even my father loves me so much, but he never does that. But she was not like that. Or she was not okay with it. So when I spoke to the father, then he realized what was the missing. So father was also missing in her life. So that point was addressed. Then slowly, the child got, pacified a little bit. Actually, she wrote her exams very well. And, now she is very happy. Her medication has also gone down. So a mother messages me saying that I couldn't change my husband in this years. One session of yours has changed him forever. The relationship between the girl and the father has increased so much. Now she is actually opening up and talking to the father. So as sir was saying, please, we should have an open environment in our homes all the time. And you will be, I would not say surprised, this girl was actually diagnosed with a disorder. So first she would have come to me, then, it is first that you visit a psychologist, then you will be referred to a psychiatrist. But they came the other way. So I was so happy that, the child is very happy. She has written her exams very well. And I used to make sure that I am wishing her daily on her exam day, to make sure that, she's very happy, the mental state is good, so that she can go and write. And minded friends, she was a topper in the class. So there was a drastic change in her in the 10th, basically. So that was a case study I wanted to talk to you guys about. And coming to the ADHD, well, actually, a 5th grade child was sent to me by the teacher. So, okay, she came up with friendship issues, and I had actually given her some interventions, and then she was okay. She was absolutely fine. And then later on, after 1 week, the parent comes to me and says that we took the child to the psychiatrist, and he said that my child has ADHD. And then, they asked us to come back for the therapy sessions, which is costing so and so, so and so. Since I saw the child, maybe I felt that she doesn't have an ADHD and it was a wrong diagnosis. So I said, see, even I am not the person to certify that your child has an ADHD or not. So I said, I referred them to NIPID. I hope you all know NIPID, National Institute for the Empowerment of Intellectually Disabled Children. It was NIMH earlier, but they changed it. They renamed it. So, and before going to NIPID, I also had to counsel the parents that you will see all kinds of children there. So don't worry. They said, okay, they went there. And with the registration charges and the test things and all, it costed only 400 rupees to 500. And then after 1 month, they came with a report that your child doesn't have any ADHD. It was just a simple behavior problem which need to be addressed. That's it. So, a wrong diagnosis. What if the child would have gone for the therapy? It really makes me, wonder like, what would have happened? So that was a major difference where I pitched in, so I felt it was really helpful for the parents. Now, creating a safe environment for the children is very, very important. And first thing, as you all know, in the counseling session, we need to build a rapport with the counselee all the time. Here, I would like to tell you a small case again, where, I just first grade guy, he daily used to see me. I think I actually gave them an activity on good touch and bad touch. So that is where he saw me in the class telling him. And then daily they have to go to washroom passing my room only. So he used to peep through my window and see whether I'm there or not. And then, they used to go. So suddenly one day he comes and he said, teacher, you are a doctor. Then I said, I am not a doctor, beta. Then he says, no, teacher, it is written there. He's showing that my room has a counselor name board, counselor room. So he says, teacher, that says that it is a doctor. Then I said, okay, why am I supposed to fight with the child? I don't know why he's feeling me as a doctor. Then I asked him, beta, why do you think I'm a doctor? He says, I see so many Didi and Bhaiya coming to your room. And after talking to you, they come out very happily. They'll be talking something like, yeah, I should come to counselor back again. Oh, then I said, really? So इसीलिए मुझे पता है आप डॉक्टर हो. So that wonderful statement of the child, I said, okay, bhaiya, thank you so much. I didn't tell him like, I'm a counselor, blah, blah, blah. I said, thank you so much. And I hugged him. I never used to understand. I hope you all have seen this Munna Bhai MBBS, right? Yes? Yes, no. Or in
Jaduka
Telugu.
Jappi.
Yeah, in Telugu it is Shankar Dada MBBS. So Jadoo Ki Jhappi, I never used to understand, does really hug make a difference? But when my kids hug me, that is where I learned hugging children again. So I hugged him and I'm saying, I'm giving you a Jadoo Ki Jhappi. And he went so happily. So that rapport I always built with them. And coming back to the trust. Trust, as I was talking in the first slide where, the child didn't want to come to the school. And I had to work on him for 6 months. What happened, when I started talking to him, then he got pacified. Okay, I will come. And I work only 4 days, Monday to Thursday. The moment Friday and Saturday, same drama, shuru hota tha. So then what I did, I again spoke to him. Then slowly he got pacified. Slowly he got coming to school. Then homework, if he doesn't do the homework, then he used to say, no, I'm not going to the school. Then I had to talk to the teachers. If homework is also not done, it is okay. You can come to the school. That assurance had to be given by the teachers. So I had to talk to them about it. And then slowly what happened was he used to come. Before going to the class, he used to peep through the window, seeing that if I am there, then he'll go to the class. So he had come at least to that stage after 4 months. And then he used to see me. And then slowly, after 1 month, he actually stopped peeping. So he built a trust. So when I asked, Hari, nowadays I don't see you, he says, I know you are there, so it's okay. So that was a trust which I got to build with the child there. Okay. So I named it as Wall of Fame. I would go for the next slide. Sorry, guys, the image is not so proper, but I'll tell you what it is about. I told you the ADHD diagnosis wrong diagnosis happened. That child, she came to me for the friendship issues. So what did she do? I give the interventions and coping sentences. She writes it and she stuck it on a wall in her room. She says it is counselor ma'am's wall. And what she has written is, be like a coconut, not like a balloon. This was an intervention I gave her for being very sensitive. And then anger management, I said, like, you have to count backward 20 to 1. And then I told her a story where she used to always feel low about herself, like, I can do it. So she has written there. So this is the wonderful memory which I wanted to share with you all, guys, because that small little heart has given me this wall of fame. So thanks to her, and she's a 5th grade child. I was so happy. Again, I gave her a Jadoo Ki Jhappi. I said, you made my day today. Because शाहजहां ने ताजमहल बनाया, बट उसके बाद किसी ने मुझे ऐसा दिलाया. So I was so emotional that day, and I said, oh, thank you so much. And the parent comes up with a letter in the end of the year. As you can see, she's addressing me. She says it was a roller coaster journey for our family, until so my daughter met you, and now she's actually able to handle herself, and the parent is also able to handle herself. So I would say the parent has given this letter out of love. So this is a love letter which I got from the parent. I already have so many letters, but I just thought I would share only one. Okay, so coming to interventions, as I told you, I do individual counseling, group sessions. Group sessions happens in the classes, where I also not see, basically we talk about anger, stress, time management. I also tell about the hygiene for girls and safety. Safety for the girls. For safety, I actually take a separate session for the girls. And for the boys, it is on the behavioral part. And then crisis response and support, I always tell the children to approach SHE team when someone is following them. So actually, I would like to tell a case study here. I would say that, I took the WhatsApp number of the SHE teams. We made a printout of it, and it is stuck on every notice board and every wall in every floor, so that the children will memorize the number and they will think about the safety first instead of getting feared what to do. So I would share a case study here. I have a girl in 8th grade who goes to tuition, and her friend is in some other school. So that child is in 7th grade. And what happened was, see, nowadays children want to be on Instagram, Facebook, everything, right? So Insta is the major social media for them. So she posted some pictures where a person actually, what did he do was, he took the photos, morphed them, made it into nude pictures and sent it to her. And she was so panicked that she didn't know what to do. Of course, when the child doesn't know what to do, she actually had suicidal intentions where, she happened to tell this girl of my school. Then that girl, she didn't know what to do. So she said, I'll ask my counselor and I'll get back to you. So the next day in the break, she caught me and she said, ma'am, I want to talk to you about this thing. I said, fine, go ahead. So when she told me, I said, you call SHE teams. Let them decide, like, if the case is in their hands or is it for the cybercrime or CBI or whatever it is. So they did the WhatsApp number, they did the WhatsApp case, they put the case and everything, all the pictures and that. And then, the boy was caught. He was 20 years old guy. They caught him, they counseled him, and they already messaged, usually SHE teams message you back. So they message the child back, everything is safe. So the child who said, you understands the importance, actually went and saved the other child. So this is a learning for everybody. So I tell the same incident in every class, specifically the girls, you should be more careful while you are posting your pictures. And I also tell about the child helpline. Here I would tell you another thing. Usually SHE teams come to the schools, CBSE schools, and they actually tell you like when you are supposed to approach them, all those things. So I met a person, SHE teams officer. I met him in the school. So one of the child told me that, there was a boy who left the school, but still he is coming daily to the school to meet her, to talk to her. He started harassing her. It was her own classmate. So then what happened was, I told the child to talk to the she teams. Then she actually spoke to them. She didn't want to do it on WhatsApp, so she emailed them. So they came up. They asked the phone number. She gave the phone number, and after 2 days, that officer messages me back that this is the boy. He sent me the photograph. This is the boy. We have called him along with the parents to counsel. So the case is closed, so you don't need not worry. And you know what the officer did? He joined his both the twin boys in my school because he says the school has a counselor. So this is another case story which I wanted to share. Now, collaborating with teachers and the staff, that is very, very important. Most of the teachers, they do send the child to me if they think it is out of their scope handling them. And empowering parents to support children is a very important thing which I had to do. See, I could build a rapport with the children in hardly 6 months when I joined. But with the parents, it took me like 1.5 years. Now the parents understand my role, my importance, how we can make a difference in the child's life. And even I would say principal is also very supportive for me. My principal is Mrs. Sangeeta. I really thank her because she understands. She herself also sends some children to me saying that maybe Usha, you need to talk to them. So I am very thankful to her for that support. Yes. Coming to the challenges, yes, parents are the first challenge. Now, for the first challenge, I would say parents. Most of the parents I see it is neglecting parenting. As Sir said, there are 4 types of parenting styles. So now I feel like, the neglecting parenting is too much. So that is the reason they don't, they say, Are, we don't have time to talk to the children. So here I would like to share a case study. There is one professor, lady, who joined her child in my school. So the child has a medical condition. I asked her to send the reports so that I can understand what is a medical condition. So I saw the reports, and this child gets fits, and he is hardly in 5th grade. So earlier school was besides their house, because whenever this boy used to get fits, the mother used to go and attend him. So from there, I don't know, they changed the school. They came to my school. And what happened was the teacher sent him to me saying that, this guy has some problem. Why don't you see address? So when I started talking to the boy, I found out that he has a lot of fear for everything. And the triggering point is a fear, which, whenever he fears he's not okay, there is not safe environment, he gets fits. So I said, okay. So when I called the parent, I talked to them and but parent was so adamant. As sir was saying, the 3 limiting beliefs, competition enta undi, madam. So much competition is there, and this guy, he doesn't even listen to me. He doesn't study at all. Array, he is having medical condition. He is on such a high medication dose. Still, the parent has this limit belief that, the child has to talk. I said, I don't want to talk about the academic part of your child. Let me see how I can pacify him. I didn't talk much to the parent because she was venting out all the things what she had to do. Then we left. I called the child. I spoke to him. Then after 1 month, the parent comes rushing to me. She caught my hand and she cried and she said, what did you do? I said, I just talked. I don't know. He listens to you. He is like, my counselor ma'am says, I will do it. Now the child, the frequency of the fit has been reduced. That's what the parents said. And also I had to talk to the teachers so that we had to give a safe environment for the child because he need to get adjusted. Now you should see, when I saw the child in the first, when he came, he was in 5th grade. Now he's in 7th grade. His self-esteem is amazing. He still comes to me and he talks to me, and he starts sharing his whatever small things he gets appreciated for. So parents, OMG, they are a very big challenge for me. So, and usually we conduct awareness sessions. Even CBSE, when they come for schools for the sessions, they talk about mental health first. They say psychological first aid, all these things they will talk about. Every teacher knows about it, but still there are some teachers who will feel this is nothing, we know everything, what you will counsel, we can handle. So coming to the teacher, I would tell you one more case. The girl was in 10th grade. She had, see, it is very common you have attraction issues in that age. She was an adolescent girl, so she had an issue and where she was badly stuck. So her mother works in a reputed hospital. So mother took her to a psychiatrist. So psychiatrist spoke to her, and the psychiatrist said she's under a lot of stress and everything and all. But the child was not happy. She came running to me, and one day I didn't knew until she told me. She caught my hand while I was going to home and she was crying. Why don't you call me for the counseling session? I need to talk to you badly. Oh, I said, there's something serious. And I said, why you didn't come earlier? My teacher stopped me from coming to you. So I have some teachers challenging in the schools who stop children coming to you. So I said, okay, fine, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll call you in the first hour. Usually I write a slip and then send it with IMA to the concerned class, and I'll call the child. Then she started crying. She had to vent up everything. She said, I went to the psychiatrist, but I was not okay. I couldn't pacify myself. Teacher, why they don't talk like you? I said, I'm a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. So when I, spoke to her, pacified her, then I gave her intervention, and then the child came back after one week saying that she's absolutely fine. And the child is a very wonderful dancer. So I told her, while I was counseling her, I told her that, you have a wonderful talent. So you need to, sharpen it up also. So she's a very good classical dancer. Then she started giving programs, and she went into this Tirupati, where there is a program called Nadani Rajanam. And from there, she messages me that I am dancing today. Why don't you watch me on TV? I said, thank you very much. This is what I want to see you. As Vishesh sir was telling, we always think about the academic concerns, but nobody is worried about the talent of the child. Because, maybe that would be his more core strength. So understanding the child is not happening nowadays. And as I spoke, stigma around mental health, I still have these issues. It's a very big challenge for me. And we have limited resources and staff who understand. Yes, now it has been 4 years. Now even I am also understand that counselor teacher, gives counseling. She'll never give you the solution to the problem. They also understand that. They also come to me. Even the teachers come to me. The teachers' kids also study in our school, right? So they send their kids also. So once they see the difference in the child, again, she's a mother. She will come, catch hold of me, and then they'll cry. Guys, I get so many hugs from the ladies, students, the primary children. And boys, they usually touch my feet. I don't know, it is their own way of showing love towards me. And for the systematic support. Okay, so I would like to conclude telling you a story as we were all speaking about, I told you so many cases. It's the same story. This girl, Priya, who was, who was a high achiever, and then slowly, her grades got down. Then the teacher actually sends her to the psychologist, and the psychologist will talk to her, but the child will never open up. It's not necessary that child will open up to you in a first session. It might take few sessions. So then in after few sessions, she opens up. She says, I feel alone. Nobody cares about me, all these things. And then the psychologist gives you the interventions. And then basically, then the child starts talking. As you can see, she raises her hand. She wants to talk about something. And then she's happy. So I would say, sometimes it's not that loud cries are for help. Even the silent whisper behind that smile, that is where the psychology in the schools will uncover. So with this, I'm ending my session. I would also tell you one more thing. In my school, 2 students have gone for graduation in psychology because looking at me, they tell me that I inspire them, but I'm very happy to share that one girl is in Pune and another girl, I don't know where she is, but they took psychology in their graduation because they thought that yes, psychology does make a difference in the lives of the people. And one more girl, she got into MBBS. She said, I would like to become a psychiatrist. I said, fine, okay. So these are some case studies, which I have many, but I thought I will share only the few things where, you need to understand. Yes, so we can take questions.
Yeah, before starting Q&A session, I would really a heartful apologize from our host team and Usha. Due to a prolonged Q&A session, we couldn't give you the host days on
No, it's
time.
okay. It's okay.
Thank
It's
you so
okay.
much for waiting. Over to Chaitra.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Usha ma'am, for such a truly insightful session. Literally, the inclusion of so many real life examples was brilliant. It made everything so much easier to understand, kind of grasp, and it made us very easy to remember the whole context of the session that you have tried to convey. And despite the delay at the start of the session, we are amazed by the way you have managed to cover the entire session seamlessly, conveying our apologies for that.
No,
And we
it's
are
okay. I think one of the one of the friend wants to share something because she has raised her hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Can we take it?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mansa. My daughter is studying in G Polarity School. Ma'am spoke about 5th grade student. I'm mother of her. So I just wanted to tell everybody the importance of counselors in the school. My daughter, I was not able to understand the problem of my daughter, and I was into a strict parenting culture. So after my daughter visiting a counselor, ma'am, I am able to understand like the mistakes that we are doing at our home with my daughter. Children are never wrong. We parents, in understanding the children, we are